Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you might be in time and space. Kinneas here, Noob Flights. What is the best plane for a first-timer? I think, hands down, 100%, it's the Icon A5. So, let me go to my hangar. And hopefully in the version you have, I think it comes with the base version. I mean, it should. It is the best possible plane, I think, for the first-time flyer. Let me change the aircraft. The Cessnas have been traditionally the ones that they're going to train you with at flight school. The Skyhawks, probably not the Aerobat right off the bat. I hear this one too, the Cessna 152. So, those are great. But for your very, very first time, no. It's right here. The Icon A5. It'll still go pretty fast, 85 knots. You're a first-time flyer. Do you really need to go, 200 knots? It'll go to 15,000 feet. You get 6 hours of flight. It can land on water. Okay, so let's pick it. And that's some of the selling points. But beyond that, can you give me more? You bet. Well, let's look at some other specifications here. At the intersection of aviation and artistry, the Icon A5 is an elegant two-seat amphibious light sport aircraft, specifically designed to embrace the adventure of flying. And from the moment it was unveiled as a prototype in 2008, the concept's appeal was undeniable. Something I want you to take away from that if you've never flown before and you want to fly. And you think, my God, it's got to be terribly expensive and blah, blah, blah. And, oh my gosh. What it says here is that it is a light sport aircraft. Now, in the last decade, the FAA has opened up new types of licenses. Okay? So the requirements for you to fly are different. Like, not requiring a medical inspection and licenses. You really just need... Now, I'm simplifying this, and you need to check with the FAA in your flight school. You really need a driver's license. Now, we're looking at the inside of the cockpit as it's doing its panning around. You need a driver's license. Look, it's got a parachute. If something really goes bad... They said that when people use the parachutes, they survive. The only thing that has stopped people from using the parachutes is they think that they can still land. And they kind of are hesitant about using the parachute. Most of those people have perished. Okay, so, yeah. A driver's license. Okay, so... Can you literally get into this thing with a driver's license? Well, look at that. Is that any more complicated than a car you've driven? The dashboard? And it's got a GPS. Have you used a GPS in your car before? Well, it's not much different. Okay, we have it selected. Now let's really sell it. Come on, let's go fly this thing. If you're thinking about picking up Microsoft Flight Simulator and you're like, man, I've seen the interior of those cockpits. There's dials and the switches and stuff everywhere. Man, I'm not going to fly. I'm seeing Kinneas mess with all these dials. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that at all. I want to find a place with water. Let's leave Colorado. Let me type in Florida and see what I get. We should go to Disneyland. That's Kissimmee, right? E-M-E-E? No. KISM. Kissimmee Gateway, Orlando. Yeah, we want to go where the water is. If we happen to find Disneyland, there's got to be some water around here, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's water just right over here. And we might run into Disneyland. Let's change it today. It's currently stormy weather. So go into your flight conditions. Let's pick clear skies and change the time of day so we can see things. I doubt they'll do the fireworks display. Okay. All right. This is the plane that broke me of my fear of landing. I was in one of these because that's the one they're going to give you, right? So I've just pretty much started just training the Cessnas because that's what they're going to give you at flight school. You better be able to learn how to at least understand what they're going to throw at you. But, you know, my God, the knobs and switches and this and that, and now you got to learn VOR and, you know, oh my gosh. It was overwhelming, and it threw up such mental barriers in my head that I didn't want to keep learning. And then Microsoft released Flight, which a lot of people hated on. But at the point I was wanting to learn to fly, I thought it was beautiful. You know, man, it doesn't do this, and man, it doesn't do that. And it's like, man, this is everything I need to want to, you know, mess with flying some more. And they put the icon in it. And I thought, well, that's pretty. I'd like to try landing on water.
Icon Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra cleared for takeoff runway 24 departing straight out approved.
Great.
Cleared for takeoff runway 24 Icon X-Ray Golf Sierra.
All right, she doesn't got a whole lot of guts, so she squeals a lot. You know, I've tried to lower the audio so we don't have to listen to it. Oh, I've turned all the graphics down because I was flying at night. Hold on one second. I was flying at night, and so I was explaining that you don't need all this. You don't need all your graphics stuff turned up at night. If you need more power for flying at night, turn all this stuff down because you can't see anything. Let's try that, and hopefully we don't bog down. That should make things sort of cleaner. I think I missed my textures. Textures. How about we hit the right thing to begin with? Texture resolution. Yeah. I'm going to pull that back. So yeah, there's no auto feature that at night it turns all the stuff you really can't see off and uses all that horsepower for something else. You know, like working on lights or something, lighting. Okay, it's looking a little bit better. Okay. So looking around, an angle of attack indicator, an airspeed indicator. Okay, so speedometer. Your whatever this is, you know, you're new, you don't know what it is. That shows you the ground. Everything in brown is the ground. Everything above that is the sky, and you know, it's got some notches here. Probably indicates something to do with turning. This is kind of like where your nose is pointing. You can see our nose is kind of vibrating up and down. All right, our altitude. Very easy to see and read. Our fuel, oil temperature, oil pressure, water temperature, and RPM. Okay, yeah. A car. Look over here. No, you know, not buttons everywhere. On, off, and a key. Well, that's nice. A communication radio. 2 knobs, easy enough. That we can get to later. The flaps, we know from basic flight training now that we need flaps. There's our landing gear, a couple of light switches. And when we land on water, there's a water rudder if you're cold. But we're in Florida, so keep the heat off. We have a bilge pump, a throttle, our parachute things up here. If things go wrong, I don't think we can pull it. I'd love for them to. I'd really love for them to put that in. I really want to test that. Here is your GPS. It's different, but it's the same. I mean, it's got similar things, you know. Nearest airports, nearest VOR, nearest NDB, nearest interception, intercept point. Back to the main menu. Map, 3D vision. Cool. Oh, nice. Very nice. So if we can't see out there, let's go back to nearest. What else do we have in here? Direct to. We know, let's say, another airport we want to go to. Our flight plan. Okay, where are we taking off from? What was this called? It was called something. But, so you'll enter it in, you know, K, blah, 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 something. Just look at the map. If we wanted to add waypoints, add a destination, if I knew where we were going, can't put in Disneyland. So, you know, yeah, you can get to that later. But for right now, all we got to do is release the brake. They say around 50. They call it knots. But let's keep it simple, you know. It's knots, but it's, you know, miles per hour. It's faster than a mile, so, but, you know, a little bit, so it's still kind of miles. You learn all that later. It's lifting off by itself. Based on its design, it doesn't want to stall. Every time it gets close to a point where, you know, it's potentially dangerous, the plane itself pulls its nose down. It's not 100% stall proof, but she's designed not to stall. So if you make a mistake, she's very friendly. If you keep your hand on the speed, you can really get some sharp turns going on. And you should learn how to use your rudder to make your rear end spin around. So when you twist your joystick, if you have a twisty joystick, it's not necessarily making... Yeah, that's the stall. It's not necessarily making your nose move. I mean, it is. It's, you know, by twisting your joystick to the left or to the right, it is making our nose move, but really kind of what's going on is our butt. We're throwing our rear end. We're using the rudder to make our rear end spin, and in doing so, it's throwing our nose to the right or to the left. And you want to apply rudder when you're turning, and if you apply rudder when you're turning, you can get a lot sharper turn. That attitude indicator, let's look at that. So it's telling us that still here, we're kind of like, I think this is broken. As we're in level flight, it's supposed to be here. That's the way I remember it working. That when you're in perfectly level flight, it stays there. But it seems like it's high. But as we go higher, let's go for that stall. You know, we're entering the danger zone. Whenever a stall comes on, drop the nose. Add power. You need what'll save you is the wind going over your wings. And you can stall.
Icon X-ray Golf Sierra, you are leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Okay. You can stall at all kinds of different power levels. But, you know, I'm full power there. But the goal remains the same. You've got to drop your nose and get the wind moving over your wings. And once you can do that, you can reestablish lift. So practicing stalls and just throwing yourself up, killing power, and learning how to not be afraid of it. You want to give yourself, they want you to do this at 3,000 feet or higher. Hold on, he wants us to answer. You really want to practice that stuff at least 3,000 feet off the ground. They don't really want you doing acrobatic stuff, but practicing stalls, you know. So what were you doing up there? I was practicing stalls. Oh, well, very good. So studious. I wasn't just fooling around. If you say, well, Kinneas, people have died in the Icon, and I'm hearing it's not very safe. Okay. And I don't mean to disrespect anybody. It's a touchy subject whenever anybody has died. My own experience just using this the Icon in a flight simulator. It's so much fun that you do everything you're not supposed to do. It is so approachable because it feels like a car that you develop overconfidence incredibly quickly. And you start seeing, well, can I do this? Can I do this? And she's going to be responding to your every move in a way that you will be so happy with. But again, making these sharp turns over golf courses and through wind, the wind power turbines in Microsoft Flight, that's what they had you do. You could collect like gold coins flying through the air, like, it was very video gamey, but you learned how to spin this thing over a golf course and fly over a golf course, following the golf course to collect your little gold stuff. And then they're like, okay, can you do that? Fly around these hotels, fly around these cruise ships, fly around all these wind turbines and weave your way in and out of them. Oops. And then, can you do it faster? And can you do it faster? Now fly through this valley and fly around these volcanoes and craters and, at as fast as you can. And you learn to love the thing so darn much that you're going to put yourself in a bad position. So I can't say that is what caused those folks who have crashed and perished flying the Icon. But that's what happened to me. It finally got me over my hump of making a landing on both the ground and the water. Because when you're in an airplane, it's hard to see over the nose. You can't see the ground. And then when you do pitch down, you're putting yourself in a bad position. So sitting this low to the ground, when you come down and make landings, your first landings, it's not so frightening because you can see the ground. It's a lot more fun to start practicing on water. And once you can really start sticking it on water, if you're having a tough time sticking it on the ground, practice in the water. Same concept when you get down here, just keep your nose up. You don't want to drop your nose into the water. Just keep hovering it there. It'll fall. Okay. And now for stability. Oh, it said we crashed. They're still working things out. So that sucks. I was watching another friend, a gentleman who's subscribing to me. He posted one of his videos, and I was watching it, and he wasn't even making a landing. He was just flying through the air. And he hit something invisible. I was laughing at him. I'm like, oh, you hit Wonder Woman's plane. Bah, ha, ha. Well, we just hit Aquaman, I guess. Because you saw there was nothing there. We were landed. We weren't, we were still just moving forward. It wasn't a bad landing. Silly thing. And where are we now? And now it's kind of glitching on us, and we're got a weird view. I'm trying to get back to the main view, but it's glitched our main view with that. What did it flatten the plane out and turn it into a little pancake? And what's going on there? Check this out. It gave us cardboard. It gave us Tron. What is going on? I gotta take a picture of this and send this to Zendesk. This is hilarious. Here, Kinneas, you're a noob. You deserve a cardboard. You deserve a cardboard icon. I'm gonna get my view down. That's hilarious. I'm using the drone camera. You should really set this up. And set it up the way you like it, so that you know where everything's at. You set it up. Make yourself comfortable. It is so much fun for ground exploring. So let me get a picture of this. And let me just open Paint real quick and save it in there. I don't want to lose this. This is hilarious. Okay. Icon mess. That's a hoot. So you can stick around. You watch me fly the icon some more and try to tease you with it. But not. I hope you consider it. If you haven't picked up Microsoft Flight Simulator yet, like, wow, Kenny, is it going to crash on me? Yeah, I might. But everything else it can do is amazing. And I think you're going to love that icon. And I think if you do love it, that you'll want to continue learning more. And that's the most important thing. So let me go back out to the main menu. Do. Should probably just reboot everything. Yeah, it looks good in there again.